So our talk this morning from our monthly theme, Bright Beginnings. Who knew Bright Beginnings was going to come with such interesting endings? That our theme this morning is Unwritten. And it's interesting, many of you may be familiar with the Natasha Bedingfield song, Unwritten, which is pretty profound as it is. And I want to take the words to that and just kind of play with them from a metaphysical perspective. Starts off, I am unwritten, can't read my mind. And I think there's truth to that in terms of we can't read our mind, but we can write what's in our mind. And that's a little tricky for us to wrap ourselves around. We are always operating in and from infinite mind. And I think what hangs us up is we try to write what's in our brain, and that's not our mind. That's our brain. It goes on to say, I'm undefined. And that just makes me smile, because that's infinite possibility. Infinite possibility. I am undefined. I'm just beginning. The pen's in my hand. And I would invite you to consider that the pen in your hand is metaphysical, metaphorical for the thoughts in your mind, the beliefs that you're holding, the emotion, the passion, the fire of those beliefs. We're going to talk more about that next week, the fire in the belly. Ending unplanned. And I think this is where we get into big trouble, is that we're trying to create, we're trying to write our experience with a planned ending in mind. Which is an interesting thing to do in this idea of eternity, in this idea where there is no beginning and there is no end. So where exactly would our story end? It doesn't. It doesn't. And when I find myself trying to write an ending, I recognize that I am in the humanness and I'm wanting control. And I'm wanting to script the outcome in the future. The problem with that is that we live in the now. There is no past. There is no future. There is only always now. Now, we don't experience it that way in our human experience. We all have a past. We all want a future. That's our ego's job. The problem is that when that is operating as our primary focus, we have separated ourselves from the truth of our being, and we've limited ourselves. Staring at the blank page before me, open up the dirty window, reaching for something in the distance, so close I can almost taste it. Now all of that is exactly what we just talked about. It's that place where we're reaching for something, where we're scripting an outcome. I love this next line. Feel the rain on your skin. That brings me right back to the moment. Feel what's happening now, right now. No one else can feel it for you. How often do we want someone else to make all of this work for us, to navigate our feelings for us, to create our future for us, to make our past not be what it is? Can't happen. Can't happen. Only you can let it in. Now, interestingly enough, science of mind is filled with references that tell us we can only experience what we allow in. When it's talking about that in, it's talking about our awareness. Into our awareness. Allow into our experience. Because we're already the infinite in form. Everything we're looking for, we already are it. We already are it. I'm going to deviate from the words to the song for just a minute. It's so interesting to watch myself and all of us navigate this huge time of unintended, unexpected, and for many of us, unwanted change in this very human realm. This is what Ernest Holmes says on page 432 of Science of Mind, A Philosophy of Faith, A Way of Life, paragraph 4. Have no fear of tomorrow. Enjoy today. Refuse to carry, listen very closely here, refuse to carry the corpse of a mistaken yesterday. What untold misery is suffered through the burdens imposed by our yesterdays and the bitter prospects of our tomorrows. The good of the present day is too often sandwiched between these two impossible situations. The day in which we live is sufficient. We are to live today as though God were in its heaven while all is well with our souls. We have got to bring our focus to today. Too many of us think we're creating tomorrow by wishful thinking. Too many of us are trapped in the misunderstanding and misuse of our teaching that you can have anything you want in life. In fact, that's not what we teach. In fact, on page 266.2, it's very clear this is not what we teach. We do not teach that you can get what you want. Couldn't be any more clear than that, folks. If we could all get what we want, it might be disastrous, for it is certain that most of us would want things that would interfere with the well-being of someone else. Now, we all know we've experienced that. And if we're telling the truth and we understand oneness, then we get that we have all participated in that. Because what one of us creates, all of us creates. There's only one here. And this idea that I can separate myself from what you create is to intentionally, willfully, even if it's based in ignorance, participate in the delusion of duality. And it removes any opportunity I have to be a part of healing. Ernest Holmes says that the only healing that is ever required is a revealing of truth. Nowhere in the revelation of truth do we focus on the problem. We focus on the solution. And we have to bring our focus to the solution now. Because in truth, eternity is always happening in this moment. There is no past. There is no future. And when we hold in consciousness that we want something next week, what we are demanding of creation is that it delays the manifestation of what we want until next week. And given that today is always today, next week is always 7 nows away from today. So it's never going to happen. We have got to find the courage to challenge our human paradigm, to step in fully into our spiritual knowing that what we desire is already here, right now. Absolutely no waiting period. And then we let go. That's the whole point of the 5th step of treatment, is we let go. Because if we really understand that it is already fully present now, what are we holding on to? And if we're being honest, we're holding on to this idea that we, the human we, have to make something happen. And the truth of the matter is we don't and we can't. Our human form is guided by the infinite within. The activity of law, the subjective mind, that part in mind that is in subjugation to thought, bears the sole activity of creating. And we don't necessarily know how that's going to happen. But if we understand our teachings and we have the faith in our teachings, we simply know that it's going to happen because it has already happened and we are going to experience it in the physical realm when we experience it in the physical realm. To get out of our calendars. In a new design for living, there are some incredibly powerful statements beginning at page 111 through the beginning of the 200s. I just want to highlight a couple of those. There will never be more God, abundance, health, or happiness than is available to us today. And the only time we can experience what we may desire is today. We can't do it yesterday, and tomorrow hasn't arrived. We have to encompass right now, in our thought, all the good that we can ever hope to experience. For out of that thought, now listen very carefully, out of that thought comes the joy of our life today and the pattern of our experience tomorrow. What we're doing today is creating tomorrow in our human experience. Now, I have no expectation that I or anybody else stop using the terms yesterday, today, and tomorrow, because we still have to communicate here on planet Earth. I am inviting us to have a different belief system about those, to understand that they are simply labels of communication to help us navigate Earth, and that spiritually speaking, they don't exist. The infinite knows nothing about yesterday or tomorrow. It can't. It is a continuous process of creation in the moment. For creation to divert its attention to the past would be to stop being itself. Too many of us right now are asking creation to stop something. The infinite activity of creation, the continuous flow of life, has no stop in it. If it were to stop what you're wanting it to stop, it would stop all of creation. And then where would we be? We wouldn't be here doing this. Stopping is stopping. I invite you to shift your focus. What do you want? What do you want? And are you willing? Are you courageous enough to have it now? Are you courageous enough to stop delaying your good and have it now? Because it's already here. Are we willing to have a healthy planet now? Are we willing to see divine, spiritually informed, compassionate, healthy leadership now? Are we willing to be every change we want to see now? Are you willing to give up railing against all of the things that you hate on Facebook now? Because you cannot, with any level of integrity, say that you want peace and spew hatred. The evidence of your behavior says you believe more in hatred than in peace. If you want peace, be peace. If you want love, love. If you want to experience the abundance of your nature, give. You have lots of things to give. You have time to give. You have love to give. You have courage to give. You have attention to give. You have money to give. Give. Give of the divine nature that is you. Let's shift our paradigm and stop focusing on what's missing, and let's focus on what's here, the infinite abundance of creation, right here, right now. Use it. He goes on to say, this does not mean that every moment of our lives will be fulfilled with complete happiness, with everything that the heart can desire. However, we should learn to take from each moment only the joy, the lesson, the good that is in it. There's a tremendous amount of good happening right now. A tremendous amount. Families that have been separated are together. Atmosphere that has been polluted is clear of measurable pollution. People are coming together across boundaries to lift one another up and to help one another. Students that have been challenged by the paradigm of school that creates anxiety for them and that challenges them on seemingly overcoming levels are flourishing under a pass-fail system and being allowed to learn at home where they can actually focus. There's a tremendous amount of good happening right now. A tremendous amount of good. Not the least of which is beliefs that no longer serve us are surfacing. What are we going to do with them? What new life are we going to script today? Without an ending, without a plot. What if we just scripted the moment? That in this moment, I choose heaven. We sang it at the beginning. I'm choosing heaven today. What if that was your anthem every day? What if the only thing you did was choose gratitude every single day? That no matter what is happening, you look around and you find those places that are amazing. And that you open up this thing called your heart and let yourself feel that. I did a project in Roots class where I put pictures of all of the catastrophes that I could find that have happened throughout history. And then I made affirmations of truth that God is everywhere present. Abundance is everywhere present. Love is the only thing there is. And then I played the song, Where is the Love? And we went around the room and we put truth on lies. And even recalling it now, I can feel the power of that exercise. And what is coming to me in this moment is to invite you, as you watch the news, put stickies on your TV. Love is all there is. Love is all there is. When you see the behavior of an individual and you find yourself having the tendency to make that individual their behavior, remind yourself that the full power and presence of the divine is expressing as that individual every moment. Call that forth. Let's stop condemning one another and lift up the truth of one another. Let's create the world we want to live in, and let's create it now. Let's take this into prayer. Feeling the emotion, the power of the infinite rise up within me. I so know that there is one. That it is fully present in every nook and cranny. That it has no beginning, it has no end, it has only now. And all that is fully present in this moment of now. I breathe that in. I am remembering in this moment that there is one life. That life is this infinite one. And that it is my life. I'm not living its life. It is my life. It is my breath. It is my mind. It is my heart. It is my dreams. is this very life I am living. So in this moment, I consciously, intentionally choose to demand a revelation of that in every thought, in every breath, in every experience. And when I forget, to bring me back to the truth of my being, that my life is the life of the infinite, and everything, infinite possibility is in my power every minute. And so I choose to avail myself of that. I choose to open myself to that, to allow it to permeate every nook and cranny of my being, and to be the visible life that I live. I recognize in the truth of oneness that what I speak for me, I speak for the whole of humanity. That I am in this moment declaring a demand on all of life to be the life of the infinite that is. To be the life of the infinite that it is. So grateful to feel the power of truth. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I just let this gratitude be my front door and my home and my back door and everything that surrounds this hole that I call my body. To live the gratitude of faith that knows it is time. And so I release, I let it go. And I invite you to join me as we say